Is this the very first tag video that I'm gonna be doing for this channel? Yes. Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Bianca, for tagging me. It's incredibly sweet of you to give me a proper and valid excuse to rant about books that intimidate and scare the hell out of me. Thank you. I'm gonna put a link up here for Bianca's video so you can give her channel a follow. I swear, her videos, her content, her personality, her hair, everything about her, chef's kiss. So yes, go to her channel and give her a follow. You're welcome. So this tag has 9 questions, I think. Question number 1. What book have you been unable to finish? I'm not really a DNF kind of reader, which is probably why I take forever. I take ages to really pick books for my TBR, because 95% of the time, I'm really gonna commit to reading that all the way until the end, regardless of whether it's terrible or excellent. I know that there's a trend promoting a healthier way of reading by dropping books that you don't enjoy so that you'll have more time for books that you will potentially enjoy more. And I don't know, I just really have this very toxic habit of persisting all the way until the end. So for this question, I'm just gonna select the book that I have most recently DNF'd, the very last book that I have not finished reading, which is Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes, a classic. This is a Christmas gift that I have received from my office mate Dan at the very last Christmas party that I have attended on site, December 2019, which sounds like ages ago, but really, it's only been like 3 years. Yep, I started reading this February 2020, but then the pandemic happened, as we all know, and I started working from home March of that year, and just descended into the worst reading slump I've ever had. And this was the last thing I remember reading and dropped. I still plan to read this in the future, just probably not anytime soon, because this is interesting. It's just so unfortunate that it happened during a reading slump in my life. So okay, question number 2. What book have you yet to read because you just haven't had the time? Hello, my unread TBR pile of shame says hi. So last month, February, I have selected 3 books for my TBR, books about questionable relationships, and as a matter of fact, I actually had to drop 1 book, supposedly, because I felt like I really wouldn't have time to read 4 books, so I had to drop 1. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I had to drop this because I thought it really wouldn't be realistic to have 4 books for such a short month. I thought this would be a really good addition to my list, since I've heard a lot of rave reviews about how disturbing and how complex this book is. If I'm not mistaken, this is about a teacher-student relationship. I'm not sure, I'm probably remembering it wrong again, but yeah. I just thought that probably, I'm not entirely sure if this is something I would recommend or categorize under romance exactly. It might be too dark for that, so yeah. I opted to just push it to the next TBR that I'm gonna be doing, and I would definitely be doing that. Question number 3. What book have you yet to read because it's a sequel? Honestly, the first thing that came to mind is Ursula Le Guin's Tales from Earthsea. This is a short story collection, or it's a collection of short stories and essays, which I thought was a safe reason for me to purchase this last year. I didn't know, I was not aware that this is an accompanying work to her high fantasy series, the Earthsea series, which is comprising of five novels, sorry. Um, I'm not sure whether it's something that I could read as a standalone without having read those five novels. I don't know. But I think for this question, I would pick The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. Mainly because I have read the first book, The Name of the Wind, back in 2013, which, if my math is right, 9 years ago, nearly a decade ago. I don't even remember what I had for dinner yesterday. So, of course, I wouldn't remember a thing about this book. All I know is that I was mind blown, and this is one of my god tier favorite fantasy series of all time. But if I'm gonna be reading this, I will have to reread this. And I just don't know if I will have time for that soon. Question number 4. What book you haven't read because it's brand new? Hello, my unread TBR pile of shame says hi again. For this question, I'm just gonna pick a book from my most recent book haul. It's the book that I'm 90% sure I wouldn't be reading this year. The Kite of Stars by Dean Francis Alfar. Don't get me wrong, I'm not reading it this year not because I don't think I will enjoy it. On the contrary, I stan this author so hard, and that's the reason why I'm not reading it this year. His book, Salamanca, is my number one book of the year so far. This immediately made me a hard stand for Dean Francis Alfar, which is why I really had to get another book from him. And you know how that feels when something is so good that you want to save it for later. You want to prolong consuming it for as long as you can because you just know that you're gonna love it so much and you don't want to run out of great things. Yeah, that's how I feel about this book. So I don't want to pit these books against each other by the end of the year, so I'm not gonna be reading it this year. Question number 5. What book have you yet to read because you read a book by the same author but didn't enjoy it? I'm a very unforgiving kind of reader. By that I mean to say I don't usually give second chances to authors that I don't like, so I don't really recall myself buying another book from an author that I'm not a fan of. So I don't know how to answer this question. But I think I'm gonna get hate for this. Oh no. I really didn't like Laini Taylor's Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Don't cancel me, please. I really, really want to read Strange the Dreamer from her because everyone raves about that book. But because I didn't like Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I just don't feel compelled to read that book, which, you know, people are probably gonna stone me to death for this, but I should really read that book, right? Strange the Dreamer. I know that it's a book that ended as a lot of people's favorites. So yeah, give me encouragement if you think that's something I would really enjoy and like. Question number 6. What book have you yet to read because you're just not in the mood for it? This is the most difficult question in this tag because all of the books that I have purchased, I'm excited for all of them. Like, honestly, I'm excited to read all of these books. I'm in the mood for every single one. So, to be able to answer this question, I really had to take a good look at all my unread pile, and I guess I've ranked them according to, my level of enthusiasm for each of these books last year versus how I feel about them now. And sad to say, it's Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. This breaks my heart so bad. Like, you don't understand, because Stephen Chbosky is the author of Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is a book that really impacted my life so hard during my teenage years. So, of course, I'm dying to read more of his works. And this was really high up on my list of dying to read last year. But for some reason, as of this time, it plummeted down to really low in the ranking. Mostly because I happened to stumble upon lots of really not so good reviews of this book, which kind of scares me because I don't want to go into this book thinking that it's a badly written book. I have so much faith in this author, so I still see myself wanting to read this sometime this year, so yeah, I will be in the mood for this. I know. Question number 7. What book have you yet to read because it's humongous? I have a lot of massive doorstoppers on my unread pile, to be honest. So I just picked the 2 biggest. And they are intimidating for 2 different kinds of reasons. These Shallow Graves by Jennifer Donnelly. And Jennifer Donnelly is one of my all-time favorite authors. Certainly a very big influence on my writing style and on my writing life in general. So, of course, I know I'm going to be enjoying this book. And it's also historical fiction and a thriller and romance. Really a deadly combination because I really love those tropes. So, I know I'm going to be having a good time when I pick this up. But I don't want to rush it. And it's a big baby, so I know this is gonna consume a lot of time for me. So yeah, really intimidating. And last but not the least is Pachinko by Minjin Lee. I really love this cover. This has a lot of recognition and so many people love this book. And this is also something that's just right up my alley, so I know for sure that I would also be loving this book. It's just that it's also really massive and the size is scaring me, but if it's something that you are deeply interested in and something that's critically acclaimed by so many people, then it's not as scary as I think it will be. I hope. book have you yet to read because it's a cover by that turned out to have poor reviews? I really try to stay away from reviews as much as possible, but I just picked this book because it has a lot of mixed reception. Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Some people are really loving it extremely, and then some people just are not big fans of this book. So I can't quite determine whether this is something I would really love or not. This is not the prettiest book cover on my unread pile. It just so happens that a lot of my gorgeous book covers have really good reviews. This is the only one which has a mixed reception, so let's hope I will love this. I really do hope I would, because it looks really pretty. Final question, what is your most intimidating book in your TBR pile? I am so tempted to just enumerate the unread classics on my TBR pile. But I know in my heart of hearts that this is the easiest question on this tag, because for so many years, and even until now, this is easily the most intimidating book for me. It's The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. I've talked about this on the very first video that I made on this channel. This is a birthday gift back in 2013 from my best friend, because she saw this on my book blog that I am really dying to get a copy of this book, and God bless her heart, she really gifted me this book. But up until today, it remains in plastic, unread, because I'm a terrible human. The House of Leaves is notorious and popular because of its controversial and very experimental format. And that's the number one charm of this book that I have always considered, intriguing. That's why I wanted to get a copy of this book. But that's the scariest reason that's keeping me from picking this up as well, because I don't know if I'm gonna feel so stupid and so dumb to appreciate this book. Thank you so much for tolerating and enduring my rants and rambling in this video. Bianca, again, thank you so much for giving me this platform to talk about books that intimidate me. Thank you. And because I'm also dying to know their answers, and I really want to hear them talk about books that intimidate them, I'm gonna be tagging Julianne from Willow Wonders, Spence from Sphinx Reads, Ray from Ray Reads PH, and Pam from Pam Shenanigans. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope your March has been amazing so far. See you on my next video.